time passes very quick here, hey.
It does.
Don't you think? Because you can only do 2 things a day.
It's
Then
true.
before you know it, it's like a month has gone by and you did like 60 things.
I know.
In New York, it's like you do like 5 things before noon.
I know.
You know?
That is like the weird thing about New York too, though, is like you could have nothing going on and feel like you're doing something.
Yeah.
Because you're just trying to survive.
You're just trying to survive. You can also meet 3 people a night.
Yeah.
So you feel like you accomplished a lot, right? Whereas here, you're lucky to meet 1 person. Then when you meet that person, you have to like triangulate the midpoint so that you both don't have to,
Yep.
So the travel is equal. But then if there's 1 more person, it becomes, oh fuck, now you gotta.
No.
Now there's a 3rd person. There should be an app to just go like, where is the midpoint for all 3 of us?
Right. Yeah.
So you can
Exactly.
just meet up.
Meet LA.
Yeah, meet LA. Yeah, it's so difficult to do
It's
stuff
so
here,
hard.
right? And then after 2 p.m., you're like, traffic's too bad. So your day really is, if you're lucky, your working hours is 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. If you're lucky.
Yeah.
If you have no kids,
Yeah.
you can work from 10 a.m. to 2. After that, it's a wash. The whole days, you're at home, right?
Yeah,
You're at
man.
home watching Interior Chinatown.
You're really making me want to go back to New York.
Yeah, you can 20 minutes everywhere. New York City, 20 minutes everywhere, no parking.
It's breaking bread.
Oh, I can't eat bread. So
You can't eat bread at all.
No,
Why?
makes me fat. So, thank you, but
You don't eat bread at all.
I try to avoid it. Yeah, to me, this is death right here.
It's sourdough, though. It's the best bread you can eat.
I know. I believe it's good. I miss bread. I want to eat it, but if I eat this, I'll get fat. So, but thanks anyway.
I don't think we can continue.
Oh, should we kick Ronnie out?
You got kids to feed this to, right?
Yeah, I can bring it home.
Yeah. I'll have a little bit, but it's just one. It's just me in the hotel. I love to try your bread, but it's just me in the hotel room. So
I figured it
Thank
would
you.
be
Thank you
like
so much.
a raccoon situation.
I know. But I do appreciate it. I love this set. It's great. It's very
Thank
new.
you.
Love your specials. I love the.
Hold on, let's make sure we're rolling.
I love your specials. I love your appearance in Comedian. It was great. I think about that a lot. I watch that documentary once a year.
Will you stop already?
Yeah, you're one of the greatest. Love your hat.
Oh my God. Are we recording?
Was the
Oh,
hat
thank
thing?
God.
The hat thing was the hat thing like a choice halfway through your stand-up career, or did you right from the get-go you wore the hat?
Well, here's the funny thing about the hat.
Yeah.
Thank you for being here. Cheers.
Yeah. Cheers. Thank you.
Great to see you.
Great to see you.
Congratulations on your new special.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for having me. What a legend of comedy. I'm here with a legend of comedy.
It's
great.
really true.
Yeah.
The hat thing is never on stage.
Oh,
It's never.
I didn't notice that.
I never wear it on stage.
Didn't you wear it in Comedian on stage?
No.
Not even at the cellar for
No.
a spot. Never for. Not even for.
It's
a spot.
never been
Oh.
on stage. I never wore a hat on stage.
Okay.
But I wear it all the time because when I first started losing my hair,
Getting self-conscious
which
about.
I want to talk about because you I felt like you were shitting on me in your special, but we'll talk about it in a bit.
Sure. I mean, you shit on yourself in your special.
Yeah. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. But when I first started balding and I was in New York.
In your early 20s.
And your hair, if I couldn't wear like a wool hat because what little hair I had would be all flat and I'd look funny on stage. This is my ego at the time.
Right.
Would be all flat and funny. But a fedora, like a nice hat, it has space.
Yeah.
So you can wear the hat without messing up your hair.
Yeah.
So in the commute, I would wear that hat, and then I just stayed with it. It was just a practical
fashion and cold, and also you didn't have to do up your hair. You could wear. Is that why you wore the hat?
Exactly.
Because you rocked that hat more than most people were able to in the early 2000s. Lots of people tried to rock the fedora. They end up looking like fucking nerds, and
I love
but you
it.
pulled it off.
You really have to just own it. You just have to be like, this is what I like.
This is what I am now.
This is what I am now. I'm this guy now.
But you owned it. But that easier said than done. Not everyone can own it. I really,
it's true.
that's one of the things I admire about you in your comedy was your hat. No, it was a stylish statement. It kind of spoke to this old school classic. Tastefulness. It was a tastefulness that I think is also apparent in your comedies.
Now let me ask you this.
Please.
I've never worn it on stage.
Yeah.
You know me from New York just from being pals.
Yeah.
would it be weird to wear it on stage?
Not necessarily. Not necessarily. James Mad Dog Maddern wears that hat on stage and he makes it work, you know. I think it's not necessarily weird. I get why I get your hesitance, you know. I was always told don't wear a hat because it blocks your face and the light, and you know, it looks, not to mention it looks unprofessional, look like a man child. But the fedora hat is different. I think you could pull it off.
Yeah,
those guys. Yeah, especially your style of comedy. You know what I mean? It fits.
Yeah,
it's not like you're wearing that and then
I'm like
like doing something really obscene, or even that would work. Maybe the juxtaposition will work, but but it fits.
Yeah.
I love this.
Is that you have a problem with that?
No, I'm not having a problem. I'm loving this.
You like it?
The production value in this set is what podcasts have become now.
I know we literally built a TV studio.
I know we just build sets out more and more for these fucking podcasts.
Yeah, it's like, so the industry's not making TV anymore, so we're gonna do it.
Yeah.
It's so crazy.
Good for you.
Yeah.
What you need?
Your special is really great.
Oh, you watched it?
I watched half of it.
Okay, thank you.
Because I just got the screener.
Okay, well,
I just got the screener last night.
Tell me what you think about the ending.
No,
for real, the ending, yeah.
The ending's really good.
Oh, you saw the end?
I saw the end with the picture of you and your wife.
Oh, you did see that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks. Yeah.
Adorable.
Thank you.
You are stylish.
Oh.
You always look good.
Oh.
Thank you. Do you think about, you have to be, and here's something cool. This is a compliment back to you with like the hat. You pull it off that, like, I know that you're giving thought to it, but it seems effortless.
Oh, thank you. Very kind. My aesthetic for my comedy specials was always classic American show business. So my first one was L.A., Glendale, but L.A., and then my second one was New York, and then my third one was Hawaii. Yeah. All these classic American showbiz things. And so that's where the wardrobe comes in, is just trying to capture that classic American showbiz. Also,
it's so good.
Also, by the way, I don't know about you, but I find classic easier to pull off than fashionable.
100%.
Being fashionable is so fucking hard. Like, it's easier to just go, okay, I'm just gonna dress a classic way because
yeah. When I was coming here today and I'm like running around, I had to go do this TV thing this morning, and it's like, what are you gonna wear? I don't know. Just throw a jacket on it.
Right.
Just throw a jacket on it and you're done.
Yeah, the Seinfeld school of comedy fashion, but it works. And also, with specials, I don't know. Did you ever watch specials that you loved and go like, oh, that wardrobe didn't age. That guy.
Yes.
Some stuff didn't age well, and you're like,
yes.
Oh, that's
everything from Def Jam.
Yeah. yeah.
Everything from Def Jam is like, it was like that moment of 80s kind of like crazy stuff.
To be fair, sometimes when they dress classic, it still doesn't age because the suits are too baggy or something. So you're screwed no matter what you do. But I always found sometimes the fashion in it was always a little. The classic stuff always seemed more timeless.
Yeah, no, I agree. Richard Jenny did a special, rest in peace, and his sweater, he wore just a sweater, and he was weird. He wore a lav mic. Which always seems like a TED Talk kind of a thing. Yeah. But his sweater, it was an inch too short. So the whole time he had to keep pulling it down during the whole thing. It drove me crazy.
Yeah, see, that's what do you think? Do you think that was they had a wardrobe person who didn't do that job, or do you think that was a Richard thing?
He probably did it himself.
He did it himself.
Yeah.
It's funny, right? Those things, those
little things.
Yeah,
I know. And then all of a sudden, you're like, in your special, you're like, oh.
Yeah, like you had a rug.
I did.
On it. Why? I was always curious about why people put the rugs on the stage.
I like because I'm not moving a lot now. I'm pretty much staying at the mic.
At this stage of life.
Yeah, at this stage of life.
Yeah.
I'm really trying not to move
ever. Sure. So
and so I'm staying in that central space. So I wanted it to look good, and I always liked when bands would have that rug. I always loved like that Persian rug kind of
the
feel.
Lago.
Largo has.
Yeah, that rug thing. I was always curious. I thought it was you're trying to prevent reflection on the ground or something.
No, it was just to look pretty.
Just a homely kind of feel.
Yeah.
Cool, yeah.
Yeah, just be like, yeah. So, but in the special, you talk about, and again, if this isn't me, I apologize, but you talk about how you have this great bit about saving your wife's eggs, and that you don't want to have a baby now because all your friends that have babies look like shit, and you don't want to look like shit yet.
Look like shit yet.
And you say that they're aging and they're receding hairlines and stuff. And was I the inspiration for that? Or
any resemblance is purely coincidental. No, but you shat on people you shat on your own looks in your special.
Absolutely. And it's funny because we have a similar kind of a line where I say that my wife and I are just husks.
Right.
We're just brittle husks of what we were before we started. And you had a similar phrasing about your friends.
My
just
friends,
being like,
so it almost looks like we were doing it in parallel. But I don't know. I think sometimes I haven't seen my friends for a few years, and then they have kids and they come back. I see them, and man, it is noticeable.
Yeah.
I'm actually shocked. Like I'm probably too more blunt than I should be. But I'm almost like, man, you look terrible. Like you really look. You've visually aged.
You're not wrong. It really does kill you.
Yeah.
It really does.
What is it? Is it the kids, or is that you are going to look like shit anyway, and the kids are a coincidence?
No,
the kids make you look like shit.
They make you look like shit.
What is it? The sleep?
Lack of sleep for about 15 years.
That's horrible.
Imagine 15 years of when right now you have a schedule. It's like if you have to get up early for a flight, it's noticeable. Like, wow, I got to get up early.
Yes.
That's your everyday.
Oh no!
Every day getting up too early for a flight. And then
every day you have a 6 a.m. flight.
Every day you have a 6 a.m. flight. You're up at 4. You can't set the alarm. You're too worried.
It's not business class.
You're going to be in coach. You're going to be it's going to be brutal. And then when you do wake up, those times that you are awake, which is now longer than any comedian's day ever.
Sure.
It's filled with worry.
Fuck.
It's filled with worry about this human being. And
the choices they make.
Yeah, they're going to run it. It starts out small, like they're going to run into the coffee table. Right. They're going to knock all their teeth out on the curb. Right. And then it becomes they're going to get pregnant.
Oh my God.
And then it's they're stealing from me.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Everyone get home?
And that's why you don't look great.
Oh.
That's why you're not going to Kiehl's and getting new moisturizers and snappy outfits.
Can anything alleviate that? Can anything at all? Apple,
well,
AirTags. Can AirTags help with something?
AirTags would be pretty good.
Yeah.
The thing that's good about your strategy is you're becoming successful. And that'll give you money, and then you can hire a lot of people to help.
Yeah, I really recommend that strategy.
Yeah, it's not a bad strategy. The more staff you have,
the more staff to help. Yeah. Did you get a lot of help?
Yeah, we had help. We had a really close babysitter who became kind of like our nanny.
Okay,
she was a huge help.
Okay.
And then my agent was a huge help because whenever there was
agent.
Yeah, because whenever there was a lot of aggravation at home, I would call him and then he would send me away.
Wow, I love that. That's great. That's great. And then you'd be like, I gotta go.
Yeah.
You gotta go. It's not,
I gotta go get the money.
Separation does, I love my wife. I tour with my wife.
You do?
Yeah. She comes on tour with me now, because no kids, so we get to travel together.
Wow.
So I love spending time with her. But at the same time, I can see how, having a weekend, I'm here in LA without my wife, and, we miss each other, but separation is...
It is nice.
Yeah,
and then you get to go back home. She gets a break from you.
Yeah,
you get a break from her.
Yeah. But I think the difference with me is that I don't have family in America. So I have to get help. Or I can also just do it myself, but I don't have family to...
Well, that was us because our family's back in New York.
Right.
And we were living in LA when they were little for good chunks of it.
So you did that comic thing, the classic comedian New York comic to LA move.
Yeah, but it was kind of gradual. I said I would never go to LA unless they came to get me.
Yes.
That was my philosophy. I'll go when they come to get me.
They got you?
And they came to get me.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I did a set on Conan.
Yeah.
And they came after me.
Great.
And that's when I started coming.
And no regrets with the move.
No, but we were back and forth. We're still back and forth.
Okay. Yeah, I know.
We never really let go.
Okay.
But I don't have an apartment there, and it's been 10 years without an apartment.
Right.
So yeah, we literally were having this conversations with friends last night, and I was like, man, I think we might be the most boring couple in America because we've been together 24 years
Sure.
and there has not been 1 week that we've been together where we don't talk about, should we be in New York or LA? Literally.
So that never went away.
Never went away. And now my kids have the disease.
Oh.
Now my kids are like,
So why didn't you ever go back?
because we go back a little bit and, you know,
That's
it
enough.
comes into, like we would do, like when I first came out after
Yeah.
the Conan thing, we were here for like 4 years, but then we would spend a couple years back there.
Yeah.
And then it, like the scales always tipped.
No,
we were bi-coastal for a long time.
Yeah, I know this is a completely unrelatable conversation for people, but the only reason this always comes up is because it's a comic thing. Mm-hmm. And because you're a senior comic to me, so I
Yeah.
always ask guys how they figured this out. And I know this is such a dumb, oh, how do you pick New York at LA? But it's like a thing. It's
I
kind
know,
of
and I really think if you're able to pull it off, it's that you don't pick one or the other. You kind of try and make
Just
both.
live in New York.
Just try and do both.
just live in New York.
or just live in New York.
Yeah, just live in
There's a,
just live in
you
New
love
York.
New York?
I love it, man. It's a dream. It's a dream. Every day it's a dream, not just the city, but just the comedy of it.
Yeah.
The comedy of it was like when I was there, you know, it's you go club to club, all these clubs, you know, they've all changed a little bit since my when I got the impression of the clubs through Comedian, the documentary, and Seinfeld and whatever. But so you know, the clubs that we used to idolize are no longer there, or they've changed. But
Like which ones? Like
New
York Comedy?
Eastville has moved. New York Comedy Club has become a thing unto itself.
Yeah.
Stand Up New York is gone. Caroline's is gone.
Yeah.
I got the headline there before. You know,
nice.
Just out of,
So what year did you come to New York?
I came to New York 2015.
2015.
Yeah, I got the headline just before it went closed down.
Right.
And I was
That
here.
was sad when it left.
Yeah, when it left, it was.
Yeah.
It was a bit of an institution. Everyone would headline that. That was like your.
So great.
That was almost like the feather in your cap, right? Like
Yeah.
headline Carolines.
Yeah.
You bring your friends to come and open for you, and you do.
So great.
And how come it wasn't a dumb Times Square crowd, even though it was in Times Square?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I know. It drew a lot of New Yorkers that
Yeah,
would just
what's up,
come and, I don't know.
There's something about it.
Yeah.
And that wasn't even the original Carolines.
Right. It started down in the South Street Seaport.
Right.
Yeah.
And is the Carolines who works at New York Comedy Festival, the Carolines is named after, or is that? Am I
Yes.
thinking- Oh,
Yeah,
that is
that's
the.
her.
Oh, damn.
Right,
Wow.
exactly.
They were always
and
very
Louis
nice to me.
Veranda. And,
Louis was always very nice
yeah,
to me.
They were the
Classic
greatest.
New York guy.
Because you felt like once they were like brought you in, you're like, I think I'm a comedian.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
I'm a New York comedian.
Because they've seen it all.
Yeah,
they've seen
right.
everybody. So when they went like, "Oh man, you're doing something good," it's like, yeah, I must be doing something.
Yeah,
good, you know.
yeah.
So that was.
It was really great. So 2015.
Yeah,
and then when did
2015.
The Daily Show come about?
2015. I moved here for the Daily
You
Show.
moved here for The Daily
Yeah,
Show.
yeah.
Oh.
I was gonna come
Nothing
here-
better than coming into town with a gig.
Oh my god, I was gonna come here without the Daily Show, and now I laugh at how naive I was.
Right.
To think of doing that, to come to America with just nothing and just try to figure it out, I would have. I don't know if I would have been able to accomplish it. Hats off to all the New York comics who make it through that system. It is
I know.
crazy.
It is crazy.
That system is so crazy. The open mic system is.
It really is a test of how badly you want it.
Yes. Yeah. You came through that?
Yeah.
The open mic, New York open mic crowd?
Yeah.
Man.
And it was, I was talking about this with somebody, and like if you were to put it on paper, like if you had to tell me for 1 week, you have to live like this with this much money in your pocket. And you don't have a bank account, it's in your pocket. I would just lie down and die.
Right.
I'd be like, I can't do that.
Yeah.
But when I was living that way,
Yeah.
I was the happiest
Sure.
I had ever been in my life. I was so excited because I was a comedian.
Yeah.
It was like you didn't think of it as challenging.
No, you didn't. You didn't. Yeah, it was easy to live in your means. You didn't think about it. Yeah, you didn't think about it.
Yeah.
Too much.
Where'd you meet your wife?
I met her in Australia at law school.
She's Vietnamese?
She's Australian, but she's ethnically Vietnamese.
Right.
Yeah.
So who does the cooking at your house?
Unfortunately, fortunately for me, she does all the cooking.
She does.
And I mean, unfortunately for her, I can't cook as well as her, so I can't. You know?
Right.
So I wish I could make some stuff, but She's killer.
Is she?
Yeah, she got a recipe in the New York Times.
Whoa.
She had a cake that she made, a Vietnamese cake. It's called bánh bò, and it got featured in the New York Times.
Really?
Yeah, it's this green cake. I think if you guys Google it, it's Hannah's Vietnamese cake, and you'll find it.
Wow. Is that what she wants to do?
No, she just did it. She just mastered. She taught herself how to cook Vietnamese food. I mean, obviously influenced eating Vietnamese food her whole life from her mom, but she really taught herself how to do it because she missed it so much.
Right.
And then she mastered a few dishes, and they're just killer.
Oh, that's great.
And Vietnamese food is great. I mean, I'm from Southeast Asia, so it's in my family of foods, but it's very different to Malaysian food. And I remember I brought Roy Wood Jr. Road Dog. Roy Wood Jr.
Yeah.
You guys know Roy Wood Jr. Oh, man.
Of course. He was on the podcast.
Yeah, we shared an office at Daily Show. One day out of nowhere, he just said, I think I'm done. I've eaten everything. And I don't need to eat. I don't need to try new stuff anymore. I'm done. And then because the guy, if you don't know him, he's a road dog who has eaten every single fast food, terrible place in America.
Yeah.
And so I just said, like, hey, have you ever eaten Vietnamese food? And he went, no. And so I'm like, man, how can you say it if you've eaten everything if you haven't tried Vietnamese food? So I forced him to come out and eat Vietnamese food with Hannah and me.
Yeah.
And he ate it, and Roy's such an open-minded guy.
Yeah.
And he, for being an American, he'll try stuff, and he ate all the Vietnamese food, and he said, hey, you know what? I ate the Vietnamese food, and afterwards I didn't feel like shit. And I'm like, yeah, you're not supposed to feel like shit after you eat food.
That's a weird concept in
I
America.
know. In America, everyone here just feels like shit afterwards. Eh? Anyway, so Vietnamese food, that light flavored,
Yeah.
I love it.
So good.
Yeah.
Now, just for the record, I baked you this bread.
Yeah.
I stayed up and worked on it, and I think Joe, correct me if I'm wrong, but Ronnie might be the first person to say no to the bread.
I'll eat the
That's
fucking
true,
bread.
yeah.
No,
I'll
you're
eat the
not.
bread.
Just
I'll eat.
pretend and take it.
No, I'll eat. I'll try. I gotta try some, but
It's making me think how many comedians have said yes to the bread and then throw it out in the garage.
Oh, yeah. Could be a lot.
I hate wasting food. But if you bake this, I definitely want to try a slice. Please.
I don't want you to. Now, why don't you eat bread?
I just get fat. It's just my metabolism. I mean, it's an aging.
Have you ever
thing.
been fat?
Yeah. I lost I've lost 10 kilos twice in my life. That's like 1 kilo is 2.5 pounds. So what, 20 pounds, 25 pounds?
Wow.
I've lost that twice in my life. So I have to be.
Twice in your life?
Yeah, I lost
And
it, put it back, and lost it again.
Was one of your times because of the Marvel movie?
No,
Just getting around those people seems like it would make you lose weight.
No, actually, on the Marvel movie, I put on weight on the Marvel movie.
Really?
Yeah, because I was trying to match Simu, who was starring in the Marvel movie. I was trying to match his workout. And so so we were filming the Shang-Chi, the Marvel movie, and it was during COVID lockdown. So production stopped. And so, the Simu, he was like going for training to keep in shape in case production started at any minute. So I'm like, hey, maybe I'll get some free Marvel training here. Let me go with you. So I literally was like, let me get some free. Shout out Chief in Australia. He let me join in the classes, and then we went the sessions, and I went, and I could do, I'm doing like 10% of what he's doing, and then afterwards he would go eat. Man, the guy can double fist bubble tea, which is basically 80% sugar.
Jeez.
He would eat, and so I would just match him, and in my head I'm doing a Marvel workout, I can eat whatever I want, and I just put on so much weight for that. I got so chubby for that movie.
Do you see yourself in the movie and think I'm too chubby?
Yeah, I look at myself, I'm like, man, what happened? The pandemic weight definitely showed. I mean, I guess my excuse was I was trying to be a different character in this.
Yeah, right, exactly. It was for the art.
It's for the art, yeah, it's for the art. I was like, oh, my character doesn't fit in this movie. So it's a contrast to the superhero. But anyway.
Did you always want to act?
No.
It just kind of came with the opportunity.
Yeah, I'm lucky that people trusted me with it. I think as comics, they often get you to act as yourself, right?
Right.
You're just playing a version of yourself. So that's nice.
How about your new role? The Hulu.
Yeah, the Interior Chinatown role.
My daughter gave me that book 1.5 years ago. And it's on my end table and I haven't cracked it.
Okay.
But people love it.
Sure. I think as someone who is a writer and storyteller yourself, who has seen a lot of reps in terms of storytelling, I think you'll appreciate the book and the TV show just in terms of it trying to break the traditional story structure narrative.
Yeah,
So I
because
think
isn't it written like a screenplay?
some of it, yeah, most of it is, but it's also a meta commentary on narrative, specifically. How Asian people are written into TV shows and movies, and you don't have to be. I'm not just saying it to promote it, but I think like if you're a storyteller and writer yourself, you'll really appreciate what they're trying to do in it. What Charles G's trying to do in it. You know?
Yeah.
Because as comics and storytellers, I think we're always trying to do something original, right? That's that's almost our curse of our existence. Is like tropes. We almost don't like to write into tropes,
right?
Because they're tropes. But then sometimes with stories, you just need a fucking best friend.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, but then we're like, how do we subvert this best friend? You know, I don't know, make him a evil person. I don't know, whatever, you know.
Yeah.
So I think this story does a great job subverting it a lot, you know, subverting the tropes.
Where'd you shoot it?
We shot it in LA. So
wow.
I got to be here for 3 or 4 months. So I got to
that's
live
great.
that LA life
Yeah.
for the first time.
Working in LA.
Working in LA.
What an unusual thing nowadays.
Yeah, no one. Yeah, exactly. It's for people filming here.
Yeah.
And I got to see what all the fuss was about.
Yeah.
With living in LA.
Yeah.
Time passes very quick here, hey.
It does.
Don't you think? Because you can only do 2 things a day.
It's
and then
true.
before you know it, it's like a month has gone by and you did like 60 things.
I know.
In New York, it's like you do like 5 things before noon.
I know.
You know?
That is like the weird thing about New York too, though, is like you could have nothing going on and feel like you're doing something.
Yeah.
Because you're just trying to survive.
You're just trying to survive. You can also meet 3 people a night.
Yeah.
So you feel like you accomplished a lot, right? Whereas here, you're lucky to meet 1 person. Then when you meet that person, you have to like triangulate the midpoint so that you both don't have to,
Yep.
So the travel is equal. But then if there's 1 more person, it becomes, oh fuck, now you gotta.
No.
Now there's a 3rd person. There should be an app to just go like, where is the midpoint for all 3 of us?
Right. Yeah.
So you can just
Exactly.
meet up.
Meet LA.
Yeah, meet LA. Yeah, it's so difficult to do
It's
stuff
so
here,
hard.
right? And then after 2 p.m., you're like, traffic's too bad. So your day really is, if you're lucky, your working hours is 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. If you're lucky.
Yeah.
If you have no kids,
Yeah.
you can work from 10 a.m. to 2. After that, it's a wash. The whole days, you're at home, right?
Yeah,
You're at home
man.
watching Interior Chinatown.
You're really making me want to go back to New York.
Yeah, you can 20 minutes everywhere. New York City, 20 minutes everywhere, no parking. Just take the subway. Or you want to meet 3 people? Yeah, you can meet you can meet them separately. You don't have to all meet at one place. Things are happening. You don't line up, 3 hours to mail a letter or whatever.
I know.
If you have to mail a letter in LA.
I know. It's really insane. It really is insane because I literally think if I have to mail a letter, I'm like, but wait, I have to make 2 left-hand turns to get there.
Yeah.
I'll just be stuck out there forever.
Yeah, you'll never mail this letter. This letter will never get mailed. Whatever you're trying to do. If you leave your house and you don't have like 100% of everything you need.
Yeah.
If you miss like a little tool that you need to like adjust your camera. Like if you forgot this stand, this camera stand, it's over.
Yeah, that's true.
Your plans are done because you can't even buy this because to go, you have to like drive to a mall, which may or may not exist anymore. Then you have to go and pot. You have to buy the pot, and then you can't. It's difficult.
No. And you're not even talking about the parking and how you're even gonna get there.
And you're not even talking about the actual work. You're talking about making up for a mistake you made.
Right.
You know what I mean? To try to catch up to the mistake that you made in the morning, it takes like 3 hours just to make up for that one mistake. You forgot that one part or that one, tool.
I really feel, and I'm not accusing you, but I really feel like you talked to my wife this morning about things you should tell me about why LA sucks.
But you've been here long enough. You've been here long enough that like you said, you have this battle every day. So you found the charm, right?
Yeah, there is charm, and it is beautiful, and you have lots of space, and you get to stretch out and buy more shit and put it in your place that you don't need.
Right.
That kind of
Do you
thing.
do you still feel the classic American show business in LA, or is that
I do, but it is becoming a little
nostalgic? It's more nostalgic than actual.
Yeah, I don't know. Like this morning I was at KTLA to promote my special, and that's in the same lot as Netflix.
Yes.
And that feels like, oh yeah, this is why we're here. I'm like going to do this TV appearance, and there's the place that did my special right there. That's where I take my meeting to go do that. But the reality is, I don't go into Netflix to take my meetings. I do it on Zoom.
Right. So
and you could do that from Asheville, North Carolina.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't, and then you do get a gig. It's very unusual to have what you had. It's like most gigs you get, they're going to send you to Canada or Atlanta.
Right. You never get to film in LA. Yeah.
So I'm not too sure
What you're doing here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Other than it's a thing. But
Yeah.
you've seen so many cycles of this business.
Mm-hmm.
How has it been, changing since when you started?
There was a lot more. You would go, all these buildings you would run into. You'd be like, I have a meeting at Disney, and then I have a pitch. I have a pitch over at CBS, and then I'm filming at Radford, and then it was
You
like
actually would be working in LA.
it was like you were a little worker bee,
Right.
and buzzing into all these hives and meeting people and doing these things.
Right,
It was a thing.
Right. And now not so much. Yeah.
It doesn't. Since the strike in the pandemic, it is not back to what it was,
Right.
and I don't know. And everybody keeps trying to figure out if it's going to be.
Right.
But
I'm talking about all the way to the start of when you first started. It wasn't, now we're doing podcasts and whatever, but this, it used to be what you had to try to get some kind of opportunity on some.
someone had to say yes to you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
And now no one has to say yes. And we can still.
You just have to
Everyone can say no, and we can still do it.
and you just say, I'm doing it. And they're like, well, no one's giving you a special. Okay, I'll make my own and put it on YouTube.
Yeah.
All right, well, I want a TV show. No, you can't have a TV show. All right, I'll make my own.
So is it good or bad?
I think it's good. It's interesting. I just read this article about Johnny Carson in the Times, and there is a quality, there is a benefit to having someone with taste say
Curate
it and say who's good and who's not.
Yeah.
That being said, I think that shut a lot of people and a lot of voices out that didn't have the opportunity.
Yeah.
And the world doesn't work by that person controlling you. Like everybody has their audience now. Right. Like I know, like Sebastian has this huge audience that sells out Madison Square Garden, and my audience doesn't know who he is.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And
I wouldn't. Yeah, I get your point. I get your point.
Leanne Morgan has this huge career going on, and that's her people, and she was able to do it and communicate to them. She would not have. If Johnny Carson or some gatekeeper did not say yes to Leanne Morgan, how crazy that it may not have happened.
Yeah. I mean, I always feel stand-up is a bit of a bad example for that, because the more I do stand-up, the more I feel like it should be outside the mainstream anyway. So I don't know if you have this feeling with stand-up comedy where it's better that I used to want like the industry to acknowledge whatever I was achieving in stand-up in terms of ticket sales, or I sold this venue, I did this special.
Yeah.
But now the more I do it, the more I feel like I'm actually glad they don't know that I just sold Radio City, because it becomes like, it keeps it subversive in my opinion.
It's your own.
And they can't affect it. And I can say all this stuff here, and that's not going to stop them from hiring me on a Disney movie, because they don't know what I just said there. And then it's separate, So I don't know if you agree with that in terms of.
Yeah. No, it is. I mean, it's a refuge. To be able to just have your own thing and do your own thing is such a blessing.
Right. So in that sense, it's a bad example for.
And the other reason it's a bad example, I think, is that comedy, the reason Leanne has a great career, the reason you sell out Radio City is because you're communicating with the public and they're saying we like it, and that's all. That's it.
All. Yeah.
And if you're not great, that's not going to happen.
Yeah. And by the way, they only say they like it in that moment. And that moment might not happen next week, or you know what I mean? Like it might be just for that night they liked you. Which is and it comes and it goes, and
I mean, it is kind of a cool thing. Like what you're explaining ultimately is that it's nice to know that if everything else goes wrong, you always have this little secret career.
It's a secret. Yeah,
to you know what I mean? I mean, you're huge. But it's also like. You have your own thing that's always going, and you can always get better at it.
Yes.
If you love it, you can always work on that craft of it.
Yes.
It is this amazing little refuge that really doesn't have to involve itself with the annoying parts of show business.
Yeah, and I say that without bravado. The more I do it, the more I actually appreciate being this secret little thing. And I actually do still feel like it's a secret thing, that like when people know me from stand up, I am genuinely shocked
Yeah.
when someone's like, "Oh, hey, their stand up is great." I'm like, "Wait, you saw it? Where did you see it?"
Yeah.
I'm truly
Yeah.
just, I cannot believe that anyone will watch this, me doing this in any live or on video, or like if you said you saw me on a Daily Show, to me that makes more sense.
Yeah.
Than you saying you saw me doing stand up.
Right.
I'm like, oh, even though we have these
these
things
big
and-
platforms and
Yeah,
stuff.
but-
Your style is you're really kind of maturing in this very cool way.
Oh, thank you.
In this story that you tell about fertility with you and your wife.
Right.
I was listening to it in the car because I could just put it on my preview, and then as I was driving I could listen to it, which is such a great way to kind of digest. But anyway, you have this great you've hit this great stride of telling pretty lengthy stories, but they're packed with jokes.
I hope
There's
so.
not like without a line. There's no line even
hope
that's
so.
not funny.
I
They
hope
like
so.
they really are. You've gotten this very. It's weird because you kind of, as storytellers, you kind of even forget that you're still telling this story because you're so packed with
Oh, I appreciate
jokes. It's really well done.
Thank you so much. Yeah, my downside I feel is that I'm always too long-winded, so I can't cut it down for fucking TikTok because it's a goddamn 20-minute thing. I'm always like, I don't know how to put this into a minute.
Oh, you totally could have
Yeah.
in this one.
Oh, okay. Well, good. No, I'm
really?
glad. No,
Like,
I appreciate it.
Yeah, like you have. It's just jokes.
Yeah, but I always was drawn to that style. I don't know. I just maybe because I came up in Australia. That's the style of UK and Australia. It's just
Yeah.
like long-winded, self-indulgent,
Yeah.
stories. So
Yeah.
I don't know. We just that's just what In fact, I always admired the comics that could do the New York short sets that would just bam bam bam, like jokes per minute, short jokes, and so I always
Yeah.
felt like damn,
Yeah.
all I can do are these dumb, long-winded,
Yeah, but I mean, it's my taste too. But I really like it because it goes a little deeper.
Sure.
You also have a little bit more of a like for a longer set. I think that style is
Sure.
You can hang for longer.
Sure, yeah.
You know what
I
I
mean,
mean?
obviously, if you can master both short sets and long sets, then you can be great.
Yeah.
If you can do both. So
Yeah.
that's what I'm trying to. That's what's great about New York. You can work on the short.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I know. We do a thing on this program called an uncomfortable moment.
Can I drink this?
Actually,
Is this drinkable?
Rach, can you grab that iPad over there?
Can I drink?
Yeah, that's all yours.
This is the wine bottle from Inglourious Basterds.
Yeah.
Why did they do this?
I think it was just that company.
Oh.
I don't know why. I think because wine should be in a basket. Wine's better in a basket. Do you drink?
But
Yeah.
not like white people.
How great was when we went for a cigar at Soho Cigar
Sweet
Bar?
bastard.
Because it was just one night that you and I met and went for a cigar.
I know.
And I cherish that moment and want to recreate that moment every time
I know.
I
and
come
I'm
to
so
New York.
Every time you message me, I feel horrible because I'm not in town, and so I'm
I
always
know,
like,
we have
I'm so
not-
sorry. Yeah.
We haven't synced it up.
Yeah.
One time, actually, you said no because you had a family thing, which made me think you had kids.
Oh no. Sometimes if I'm in town with my wife and I'm like, hey, can I go cigars? And she's like, nah, not tonight. And I'm like, okay, well.
Yeah, which is weird because if you're smoking cigars, you should be able to tell your wife, I'm going for a cigar.
No. I respect her.
No, I'm only kidding. But it was we had such a great night that night. And
I appreciate it.
I feel like we have to replicate it.
Yeah.
And I hope this doesn't take away from it, but this is the uncomfortable moment.
Oh, we're gonna replicate
And
right now.
you are you're a very talented, and you have a reputation of being very buttoned down and responsible human being. You give off a vibe of somebody who's got his act together.
Okay.
And you always look great on stage.
Can I just say this is also in comparison to stand-up comics who are a goddamn mess. So compared to those guys,
It's true.
I'm like the most buttoned up dude apparently. Yeah.
It really is true. People ever say that to me, I'm like, compared to what?
What? Yeah.
But then we got it looks like it's a photo from you backstage during your special.
Uh-oh.
And I guess there's no other way to say it. You seem to be a bit of a slob.
This was AI. This looks like AI.
I don't think it's AI.
I think it's
'cause
AI.
No, because I can tell with the edges if
First
it's
of
AI
all,
or
I
not.
don't wear cargo pants, so that's a big giveaway.
That's why I was surprised.
That's a
I
big
told you it was going to
giveaway.
be uncomfortable.
Yeah. Also, I don't have that much hair on my arms, do I? On my stomach, for that.
You just have
matter.
nachos on your chest, and it seems like you're playing a video game, which doesn't seem like you.
Also, I would never have. I would never pick this sofa. So this sofa cushioning is. It's a little. Yeah, it's a little drab. But.
So do you have a slobby part of you that like just wants to stop being the great Ronnie?
Yeah, my wife will tell you my office is a mess. So it's just
yeah?
stuff everywhere. Yeah, I always it's been a 30-year battle to clean my room. And it just never I've never won it. I've moved countries 3 times and my room is always it's always just messy. So I don't know. Yeah. That's
Is
pretty
this your
sluggish.
favorite country to live in?
Yeah.
Hands down?
Yeah. I've been trying to come back here for 30 years.
Right.
I tried to come back here since I've been trying to come back since 93, and I finally came back in 20 years. I finally came back in 2015. So yeah, that's.
What do you mean come back? Why in 93?
Oh, I was in Manchester, New Hampshire for 4 years from 1989 to 1993.
Right.
And we left, and when we left New Hampshire, my parents said that we were just going on vacation, and we fucking never came back. They knew we weren't coming back.
Really?
Yeah, they knew.
They just lied?
They just lied, and we went back to Malaysia. Yeah.
Oh,
and,
man.
yeah, and so for like 22 years, I was like, I need to get back, and finally got back in 2015.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it took me 22 years to get back.
Now, as an American who's never been
Yeah.
to Southeast Asia,
Yeah, we've spoken
when
about this.
when I hear Malaysia, I think I could probably live there.
You couldn't live there. You can't live there. You can't live there. Yeah.
Why?
First of all, you can't wear a jacket there. It's too hot.
Ah, really?
Yeah, so that's
My
gone.
fedora is no good.
Fedora would work.
It would
because,
work?
like, in the Cuban style, you know that Cuban,
right,
that
yeah.
hot weather.
Yeah.
But also, let's just say comedy, not so, not as much. Not
Carve
as
out a
big.
life for me. Make it work in Malaysia.
Make it work for you in Malaysia?
Yeah. How would I have to? How would I do it? I mean, I don't need to work.
Okay, you don't need to work.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So you would need to. Do you want it intensely dense city, or you want kind of more relaxed?
I'll take a little more relaxed.
More relaxed, yeah. You probably need to go to. You probably,
Well, will the people like me? Like, if I'm dense, would people be like, "Oh, we like Tom," or would they be like, "Ugh"? It seems like relaxed. Okay, secret message received.
People would like you, but there's a lot of failed. There's a lot of failed white people who go to Malaysia and they use their social capital due to their language ability to make people think that they are better people than they are, both in terms of competency and character.
Con men.
Con men. There's lots of con men in Malaysia.
Right.
So you don't want to fall into that group.
Okay, right. And just by association, they're
Just
gonna.
by association.
Yeah.
If you just go there and you're like, hey, I'm Tom Pop. You know,
Right.
they don't need time to know. Once they know you, they know you're the real thing.
It would take a while, though.
It's as Des Bishop says, like the good guys can tell the scumbags from the professionals.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
All right, so we're gonna go laid back.
Laid
Get me
back.
out of the city.
Yeah, so what you need for you to live would be you need like a nice place in Penang, I would say. That's a nice island, great food on that
Okay.
island, great Malaysian food. And then you would need a high-speed internet connection. And then you'd be pretty much set because then you would have all your creature comforts and you wouldn't need to, pretty much worry about the rest of the country or the world.
What's my place like?
You would have a very tasteful colonial shop house. The
Shop house?
Yeah. So it'd be the traditional. If anyone Googles Penang shop house, you'll see like the bottom will be a shop, which you might convert into your house, but you might just rent it out, and then on top is where you live.
Okay.
And it's a very colonial. A British colonial thing, but
Okay.
in recent years it's become very hipster because no one does it anymore. So then you would probably make it look at like a really you like
Right.
make it all
Yeah, a little more hip, like a little like I know this is colonial, but I
Yes.
have posters up that say F Britain.
Yeah. yeah.
Right.
Yeah, you have Jimi Hendrix on the thing or something on the
Maybe
wall.
I put a bakery in the
Yeah.
shop down below.
Yeah, you could do this. You could actually there will be a demand for this.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, they have good bakeries in Malaysia, but this made by a white person, that would be pretty amazing.
That would be pretty good.
You go there, people would think that you invented bread. If you make it like this, they'd be like, "This is the guy who invented sourdough."
They're like, he calls it white bread.
He invented
White
sourdough.
people's bread.
You know how? Yeah, you know sourdough. Yeah, this is the guy. He's Mr. Dough. Yeah.
So all right, so I'm living in there and I have my little bakery, and then who are
that'd be a great idea.
who are my friends?
Oof.
Who do I hang with?
You will unfortunately hang out with the American expats, but you actually don't want to do that.
Yeah, I don't want to do that.
But you will.
I will.
But you don't want to. You don't want to. You need
No.
local friends.
I know, that's what I mean.
Yeah. Because like I said, a lot.
Do they speak English there?
Yes, you can get by with English. Yes,
I can.
Yes.
So I can make some real friends.
Yeah, you can make real friends. Yeah, and people will like you, and then eventually you'll get the bug, and you'll go check out the open mic scene and do comedy there, and then you'll build a cult following because any fucking like semi-professional Western comedian who moves to Malaysia builds a cult following again based on the just social capital of
Right.
vocabulary and
Right. And
Yeah.
just being confident.
just being confident, and then
Yeah.
and then all you would have to do is like say local words,
Right.
like once or twice, and people be like, "Oh my god, it's the best comedy I've ever seen." You know, you just have to say something in Malay and something in Chinese,
Right.
and but just so you know, so in Malaysia is very multicultural. So we have like Indian people, Chinese people, and Malay people, and everyone can kind of speak English, and Malay people also speak Bahasa. Well, everyone speaks Bahasa Melayu, and Chinese people speak Chinese, and they have different dialects. And Indian people will speak, Tamil, Hindi. So there's a lot of languages going on. So
What's the biggest difference? And I'm asking this just because I don't want to offend anyone at the bake shop
please.
when they come in.
Yeah.
What's the biggest difference? How do I tell Chinese people from Malaysian people?
it'll be pretty obvious.
Yeah.
Skin tone will be pretty obvious.
Skin tone?
Yeah, I'm kind of like a dark Chinese, but like Malay people will be a little bit darker than me. You can tell by the way they dress as well. We dress a little bit differently, and then language wise.
Who dresses nicer?
Oof. Everyone dresses fine in Malaysia, but it's very distinct. You can tell.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can tell the Chinese people from the Malay people from the Indian people. I think also Malaysia is a majority Muslim country. So
Right.
the Malay people are mostly Muslim people, and so
Right.
they'll tend to cover up a bit more, longer
Right.
sleeves, and so you can tell by the sleeve length as well. But the language is the giveaway. But actually, the giveaway is the face.
The face.
Yeah, just like you, I guess you could tell the difference between like a British person and a Portuguese person. Yeah, that's
Right.
the same in Malaysia between Malay people and Chinese people.
Right. Okay. All right. Good.
Yeah.
And then who is the better music?
Oh, damn, you really trying to get me in trouble here, man. With the
I'm not saying a favorite, but like empirically.
no, they both have great music tradition. I can't pick which one's better. Yeah, no, they're both good. Yeah, they're both good. They both have Malay people have a history of their own ethnic music, and then they move into rock, and Chinese people have their own like the Chinese like music industry to draw from outside of Malaysia, so we're connected to that as well, like
Right.
Taiwan, Hong Kong, China. We draw from like our artists, we draw from that too, our music.
Cool.
So yeah, it's
Are there big stars that want to be your friend now?
I don't know. I think so. I think sometimes I'll talk about Malaysia on the Daily Show just as like a throwaway joke
Yeah.
or like a punchline, and then suddenly everyone in Malaysia is like, "Oh, he said something about Malaysia." and
Right.
people- yeah. So they'll reach out, and they're usually very cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool.
How's life at the Daily Show now?
Oh, it's great.
Because it's like after really trying to figure out how this was all going to work. It seems like it's settled now.
Yeah, I think it's settled. I think it definitely makes for easier sustainability because I can't believe Jon Stewart and Trevor Noah did that for years.
Alone.
It's
Yeah.
to me. I host 3 days a week, every month or every 5 weeks or whatever, and I'm like, this is crazy.
It's an intense amount of work.
It's an intense amount of work.
Yeah,
and to do that, for them to have done that every day for years, I can only imagine.
Yeah.
No wonder it's
a grind.
So this definitely keeps everyone fresh, and I think we're all kind of learning. It's you know how it is. Unfortunately, it's one of those skill sets where you kind of have to you need to do it to get better.
Yeah.
Right? And the margin for failure is so low because you're live.
Right.
Right? You can't train secretly and then come and be the best. You have to fail publicly. So I think like in that sense, we're all getting better with it. John is great too. And you know John, you've probably known him since back in the days of the cellar, right?
Yeah, he was before me.
Oh, he was before you? Yeah. So he's very down to earth and I think I don't want to speak for him, but I do sense that he is very reinvigorated by this schedule. It lets him say what he wants to say and not be dragged down.
Right.
In terms of that energy. And we like to call it like he covers the climate and then we cover the weather. Which is great because if we just cover the climate, we're not addressing the day-to-day news that only we can address because we're the show that's on, focusing on political satire on every day. So
was everybody kind of bummed out that comedically you are now chained to 4 more years of joking about the same guy?
People bummed out. I think we had other we had bigger issues. No one was thinking about that. Oh yeah, we did make a joke about that. We said I think I said the idea that like when I came out of the jungles of Malaysia to do comedy, I never thought I'd be joking about one person for fucking 12 years.
Yeah. It's
12
insane.
years of one person. Like I have never talked about anyone as much as I talk about this dude.
Isn't it? Yeah. It's exhausting.
It is exhausting. I mean, again, I like to see your perspective on this. Like, this wasn't the case in the 80s or...
No.
Right?
I mean,
Even
you had the
Clinton.
Bushes for a while, but it wasn't this. They weren't such a big... black hole of a personality that sucked everybody in its orbit into it.
Yeah.
This is very unique, and it's crazy that it's eating up all of our adulthood.
Isn't that awful?
It's really terrible.
It's awful.
It should. I mean, the one thing Americans really seem to thrive on is change, shake it up, do something different, revolt.
Yes. Yes, since the
and
start
that this just been a constant.
Oh.
Even like before he got into politics, like when my kids watch old movies, like Home Alone 2, and there he is, and it's like, holy shit, he's been around forever.
So your kids, this is kind of all they know. Right? So are they political? Are your kids political?
They are a little bit, and they're 2 girls who both saw an opportunity to be the ones to push the first female over the line.
Yeah. Oh,
and
so
they both got destroyed by the same guy.
Damn, yeah.
That's their next.
Oh, so they even remember
her first vote was for Hillary.
Oh.
And that was a horrible night.
Yeah.
And then the second one, it was Harris, and same guy stomped on their dreams. It's really rough. And especially when it's a guy that's, has a lot of reasons for a young girl to be like, not that guy.
Yeah, so I guess your kids grew up really quickly in this era in a way, right?
It's still happening, right?
Yeah.
Like it's still like you got to kind of pump it up and keep it going.
Man, but so in your memory, I guess that's what I always try to get out of guys who've been here longer than me. It's like, so this is truly unprecedented.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No, this is totally unusual.
Okay.
Completely unusual.
No, I think it is, but then you know how it is. You always tend to exaggerate your circumstance versus other people's. But I'm just trying to see whether.
Well, for you, that's probably an advantage to you having the role on The Daily Show. It gives you a little bit of a different perspective than someone who came through every year here. I mean, there's probably benefits to both, but do you feel that way?
What do you mean,
just being born somewhere else, having a different perspective and coming in?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to exaggerate as though it's some super enlightened view, but I think there is definitely something to be said about knowing how other countries work intimately and being in America. So at least there's something to compare it to.
Yeah.
And also on the Daily Show, the other thing that makes it kind of messed up, I guess, is that for us, I mean, for me anyway, it kind of becomes like your emergency room doctor. And so you kind of get desensitized a little bit, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And also, I feel like to do that job, you kind of have to be desensitized.
Yeah.
You know,
Absolutely.
you can't be like overreacting to every little thing. You kind of have to be like, okay, we're doing satire here. Look at how messed up this is, and you know that kind of. Like
right, exactly. You can't be like the people at home watching, like, oh my God, what's happening?
I know, and I think that's something that changed over the in the last 8 years. Sorry, from 2012 to 2018, I think we were at peak outrage evisceration culture, where we would like put your emotions on the screen and be like, this is how I really feel. And I feel like we almost didn't realize that is what you would do on very special occasions. That's not something you do every day
for years.
You know, because it kind of loses its luster. Like I think based on watching Jon Stewart archives, I'm like, he would pull that out occasionally, and it would be when something huge happened, and it would be the most impactful. And I think other people saw that and felt like that's how you're supposed to be all the time, because that's what people respond to. But they didn't realize, like, no, we earned that. We had a baseline level of so that you know that when we're like, guys, this is bad, you believe us.
This deserves like the rage. Now I know that you're not an expert on this really, but you're the closest person in my life that has this perspective. You were in a Marvel movie, so you have a kind of keen sense of good versus evil. Do you think that Elon Musk is turning into a real supervillain?
I think he definitely. It seems like he fell for his own algorithm. He's someone, and I think he is brilliant, and I think he's trying to make himself the main character of the internet. And I think he bought his way into being the main character. And I think that for all his good ideas that he might have, I think there's also this thing that you have to balance with, which is that no matter what happens in America, he'll be okay. You know, so before you kind of take his word as gospel, you probably should realize, like, if America literally implodes, that dude has a bunker in New Zealand or Switzerland or something. Like, he's fine. This is all play money to him. This is all house money.
That's terrifying.
This is all house money. You know what I mean? So there's that, you know. So that's probably what I would, you know. And you can definitely see a little bit of a, like, bizarre decline, right?
It's very strange. It's very strange, because I was all in. I have one of the first Teslas. I couldn't believe the ground he was breaking, and it was just, I was like, this guy is making stuff happen. And now it's like, I keep finding it's kind of like having a good friend that no one else likes. You know, and you're like, it's just Dan. He's great, dude. He ruins every party. You ever talk to that dude? He's losing it.
Like, why are you tweeting? You know what I mean? Like, you're not only the richest dude in the planet, you are supposedly brilliant, and you're in the middle of trying to do, you know, whatever it is, like solve the climate crisis by trying to electrify cars. You're trying to help humankind achieve space travel by making it feasible, and now you're trying to like fix the US government. How are you tweeting? That's not what someone who's brilliant would be doing. You don't have time to tweet. I do none of that. I don't have time to tweet.
I know.
You know, like, how do you have time to be on that, and like you're like trolling, and you know, I don't know. That, to me, that doesn't sound like an enlightened person. But
no, I know. I'm starting to think maybe I should look into those other cars.
Oh, the other. I hear is that one that
the
starts
Lucid?
With, no, there's one that starts with R.
The Rivian.
Rivians.
Is it called
Rivian?
Yeah.
Good,
That's a pretty cool one. That's not that great. We do another thing on this program, and I know you're not going to do it, but I'm going to present it anyway, just to see what your reaction will be.
Oh, no.
We also do, not only do we make beautiful artisanal breads for our guests, we also do taste tests of shit that we find in 7-Eleven.
Okay.
And
I used to eat at 7-Eleven.
you did?
I did, yeah.
All right. Well, today we have.
Oh no,
I know you're not going to.
I can't eat that.
This is called a Twix cookie dough. It's a Twix bar that is cookie dough flavor.
This is what is great about America. Mm-hmm. Truthfully, you can't find this outside of America.
Right.
No other country will allow this to happen to their citizens. And this used to be the thing. Like, I would remember stuff like this. Not that we had cookie dough Twix, but like the fast food that we have. You know, they used to have like, you remember those soft bake cookies?
Yeah.
They're made soft, and I could never get them outside America. And I remembered eating those when I was a kid, and I looked for 20 years to find them again. I could only buy them in America. And this is the kind of stuff that makes me think America.
Yeah. How did you not get seduced by all of this?
Oh, I just stopped
'cause-
eating sugar, and then
Just because you were gonna be in the movies and didn't want to be fat?
I just didn't want to be fat. Yeah,
Right.
and no one told me when I left college that you have to stop eating like a kid.
It's really true.
No one tells you that. So you just keep eating the same way you ate in college. Like for me, I ate like that all the way up till my late 20s.
Yeah.
And I was
gotta say, I'm hearing it for the first time right now.
Yeah. No one ever
No one
pulls
tells
you
you
aside
that.
and be like, hey, listen, you're not
Yeah.
18 anymore. You can't eat like that.
Yeah, you have to stop now.
Yeah, you have to stop now. You have to stop now. And
But it's hard because you built up your whole life of enjoying those things and being like told that's a treat.
yeah.
Yeah.
But Will Savins, the great Will Savins,
Yeah.
he cut sugar out of his life. And,
I know.
and he was the one who told me. He said like you have to start looking at these things as poison, not treats. And I was like, you're right. And so I just stopped eating this. I eat bananas now. I bring my own water. I eat bananas. Try to do my part. But okay, if this is a out of respect for you, if you want me to try like a bit of it,
I do.
Okay. Man, I cannot. Let's. Can I share this with you?
You just take a bite.
Okay. Cheers. This. By the way, I'm not eating this not because I hate it. It's because I love it too much. That's why I had to stop eating this. You
I
know what
understand.
mean? Yeah.
I don't have that ability.
Oh, that's good. Love cookie dough. Love Twix. I haven't had Twix in like 10 years. So you're watching me relapse right now.
I know. I kind of feel like the devil right now.
Yeah, you got bread and Twix in front of me.
Now I'm gonna start pouring wine.
Yeah, I'll pour wine. Yeah.
It doesn't taste like cookie dough to me.
Oh, okay. It tastes like pure sugar. I don't know. Yeah. This.
I gotta say, your face is changing.
I know.
You haven't been this happy since you sat
I know.
down.
I know. I miss this. I miss being able to eat this.
I
But
feel so bad. This is like giving a smoker a cigarette. We're going to find him at the 7-Eleven across the street. Coming out with like
watch me relapse. No, I'm
scurrying
okay.
into your car.
I'm okay. I can't eat.
Well, thank you for doing that. That was a nice gesture.
No, out of respect to the great Tom Papa, one of my comedy heroes, I can't turn it down. I'm sorry for not finishing it.
No,
but,
it's okay. You know what? Pass it over so you don't have to be so you don't have to be tempted.
Yeah, thank you.
It's okay.
I'll stick with
Anytime a guest does not finish this portion of the show, my editor gets very excited.
Why?
Because he gets to eat
Oh,
it.
I guess who else would eat that?
I think. Well, I have to say, I think most people took the bread because it's so good.
I believe it. Can I have a slice now?
Sure. I'll cut a slice for you. Yeah. Most people, eat the bread. The shitty snacks. People have different reactions. I think it comes down to how much of a garbage person you are.
This you made this last night.
This is good. Yeah, this was
It looks like a
like store
professional. Yeah.
Yeah, look at that cut.
Whoa. Look at that.
Yeah. No, that's
what do you
good
call
stuff.
that? Foaming. Can I have the end?
You want the end? Yeah, of course. There you go. You're welcome.
Haven't had sourdough in 10 years either. So.
Yeah, that looks pretty good.
I remember this. I remember this. This is good. This is really good. Yeah.
Bread's been around for thousands of years.
Yum. Yum.
Jesus ate it.
So what do you do? Is there like a use special flour on this or? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yep.
Like what?
I get special flour from Central Milling Flour.
Yeah, they mill it without any other additives, right?
No, there's nothing in it.
Yeah.
And the thing about this bread is it's just flour, water, salt, and yeast.
Amazing.
So there's no additives, there's no sugar, and it's fermentation. It actually breaks down its own sugars.
You could definitely sell in Malaysia.
Yeah?
1000%.
I can't wait.
Yeah, you want to go to Malaysia?
I do.
Yeah.
I want to try it. Just for a year. Get one of those what do you call it?
Shop houses, yeah.
Shop house.
You could do a show there. They have gigs there.
They do?
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm going to be in the mood.
Yeah, how about you go, you do the show as a tax deduction. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but really you're there to see the country and hang out.
How much do you think a shop house costs? Is it cheaper to live there?
I was looking at getting one during the pandemic, so I actually know it's actually like a New York like studio apartment.
Oh, it's not that cheap?
It's not that cheap.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
yeah. I was surprised. I was like, oh, damn.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because
Maybe I'll rent.
They're like heritage listed. And rent one, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that'll be good. I'm really concerned about the expats wanting to hang out with me.
Yeah,
and
that's a problem.
Yeah, I don't want to seem like one of them.
Yeah, just keep them at arm's length.
Yeah.
Keep them at arm's length. They'll try to draw you in. They'll try to draw you in with their parties and their activities, but just
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm going to be like, no, man.
But hey, come over and watch football. Come over and watch baseball. Some American thing. But hey, we're having Thanksgiving.
Hey, we have Twix cookie dough.
I got my kid just came back from America. He brought a whole bunch. Come over, have some Twix. That's how they get you. You gotta be like, nope. I'm eating local. I'm eating locals and. Right.
Well, thanks for doing this. Your special's so good.
No, thank you so much. Your special was great too. Love hang out with you. Thanks for always being so cool to me. Ever since I first came to America, it was great. I was a new kid in town, and everyone was always very nice to me in New York. So I really appreciate it.
Yeah. Well, it's because you're talented.
I don't know about that.
If you weren't, you could be a nice guy, but not that talented. People would have been like, yeah, he's fun, but I'm not going to really reach out. I'm not going to have a cigar with him.
Thank you. I appreciate it. The respect more than.
And
mutual.
are you going to be touring now? Or are you going to take some? Like, how are you playing that end of it?
So I'm wrapping up my tour in December. I was supposed to tour till January, but Netflix offered me the December slot.
Okay.
So I had to cancel my January shows. You know, like comedy's like the reverse of music.
I know.
It's like you tour, put out the album, and then you stop.
I know.
Which is the reverse for music, but you know, it's okay.
I'm still going, and I show them a couple jokes from the special, but I figure it'll just make me, I don't know, tell other jokes.
Yeah. No, that's.
I don't know.
I cut out. You're just gonna cut all this out because I have food in my mouth. But like, I cut out.
It's actually our favorite part.
I cut out like 15 minutes from my special, so I got 15. I feel like I got 30.
That's great.
That's never been aired.
Yeah.
I toured with it though. So.
A friend of mine told me.
Mr. Jerry Seinfeld.
Not Seinfeld. It was actually Gaffigan.
Yeah.
Told me that a half hour is kind of like the good spot.
Yeah.
Because you have your half hour.
Yeah.
Then you maybe a little crowd work, and then take stuff from the second half of the special that nobody watches.
Oh shit.
And I gotta say, I did it last weekend, and I was like, it felt different than doing stuff from earlier in the special. It was like, no, just doing those, it was like you could feel it was kind of new.
Wow. That's a great trick.
Isn't that a great trick?
Didn't it used to be, you remember this, it used to be 45 minutes.
I know. When
Was
I
the
first
headline spot.
Yeah.
And that was also coincidentally the amount of time on a vinyl that you could shove.
45 minutes.
And I think 45 minutes is perfect.
I know, but if people come out and they put their pants on and they come to the theater,
You think?
I
Okay,
even feel
theater.
like I even feel like an hour and a half show is like. Every time I get backstage, I'm like, was that enough? These people parked. They got a babysitter. They went out to dinner. They waited
I
for
think
months.
hour and a half is good. But
It is, I guess.
But 45 hour and a half is like that's you. You still have openers. So the show becomes hour and a half.
Right.
Dude, don't get me wrong. Like my goal was to write 45 this time. It became an hour 15. So I had to cut stuff, you know what I mean? So I'm doing more than 45, but I'm just saying I think 45 is like still the
It is a sweet spot. It definitely, there's no, that old adage of leave them wanting more.
Totally.
It really is true.
Totally.
It's like to get to that, You never want to be like, okay, when's he wrapping it up?
Totally.
Yeah.
You know, I just saw your episode here with Anthony Jeselnik.
Oh, yeah?
It was great.
Oh, that's good.
I mean, it wasn't here, but...
It was here.
Oh, well, I didn't see a table, but all right.
Yeah. Did we cut the table out?
I feel like you cut a table.
No, he was here.
Oh.
He didn't. I have to say, though, he didn't eat the bread on the podcast.
Wait, he took it back? Ow.
Oh, well, you just hit
Yeah.
yourself with the bread.
Yeah, but bread, yeah.
You really hate this bread.
Yeah. He took it back?
Do you think that you did better than Anthony?
Yeah.
On the podcast?
No, he was great. Dude, I loved his insight on cancel culture.
Yeah.
It was the best. It was the most perfect explanation.
He's very articulate about it. Yeah.
On why it's dumb, as in why even talking about it is dumb, and what the goal of comics should be. And he's the guy who you would think would be on the other side of it.
Yeah.
But he's not, because
no.
he's a smart dude who's a great comic.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. And he's and he's ballsy. Like he doesn't care if you don't like what he's saying.
Yes.
This is what he really believes.
Yes, but yet he's not on the edgelord side of. He's a comic, you know.
Yeah, right. I know. That's what I took away from it too.
Yeah.
Is like it's kind of similar to what you were saying of like the comedy should be its own thing.
Yeah.
It's like no, you should be an independent thinker.
Yeah.
And we should all kind of like that about each other.
Yeah, yeah.
And not starting tribes within comedy.
Sure.
It always seems like such a drag.
Yeah.
But that being said, I am starting my own tribe in comedy, and I'd like you to be the first member.
No, I love if it has bread like this. I'm down for this tribe.
I know. Yeah, you're going to be a little fatter, but
happier.
Yeah.
I'll be happier. So.
I feel like fat works with comedy.
Yeah.
That's why I'm worried about Jim. He's losing all this weight. I don't know what's going to do to his career.
Yeah. Do you know? Well, I gotta ask him why he. Was it just a health thing, or
I guess so.
good for him?
He posted a thing on some like he had a scotch and a cigar like on some magazine. I'm like, wait, are we sexy now?
Yeah. That's so funny.
Yeah, I mean, it's okay to like lose a little weight, then lose a lot of weight, and then become hot. I don't know.
He's in his hot era.
Yeah,
he's
he's
good for Jim
50-year-old
Gaffigan.
hot era.
Yeah.
Well, thanks again, and more power to you.
Thank you. Thank you, Tom.
It's so great to see how successful and it's fun and it's really it really makes me very happy.
Thank you. I'm just trying my best. Thanks for having me.
Right.
Tom.
You're the
Love
best.
you, man.